Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Build Your Foundation radio podcast. Got a great one this week. It's another short one, but it's another great one. Got Ryan Hall, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu champion and undefeated in the UFC so far, MMA fighter, and just a really great human being, a great instructor. I've gotten a chance to train with him along with Coach Rami in his academy, 50/50 Academy in Falls Church, Virginia, near DC. I've also gotten to train with him in Los Angeles. He works with Kenny Florian, one of his coaches in Los Angeles, goes out there regularly. Just a really phenomenal martial artist, a really great thinker. Kenny Florian actually has called him the best mind in all of jiu-jitsu. And it would be hard to argue against that. So we've got another kind of pirate radio episode here that we've been doing. It's definitely lo-fi. It's just out of here, out of the home, but it's really useful. Like I like to think of it kind of akin to our training. We're stuck at home for the most part, or we're exposed to increased danger working out. But in any case, in terms of training, we're pretty much stuck at home. The academy is still closed, yet we have live video classes every day for kids and for adults. We've got taped recorded info like this, and some video teaching as well. And I'm really of the opinion that if we make the most of what we can do, we won't lose much ground as we worry we might, and we can kind of get back into the flow of things right away once we're able to open back up, start training together, and start competing together. So what follows is a portion of a conversation I had with Ryan before his state of Virginia was even locked down technically, and pretty much I think just as Illinois was being put a shelter in place order. I shouldn't say lockdown. It could be a lot worse than it is in terms of authoritarianism, but you know what I mean in terms of us having to close the gym and train from home. I spoke with him about a wide array of things, including his own career. And what we're going to jump into is a portion of the conversation where Ryan talks about what he's offering his members at the 50/50 Martial Arts Academy in Virginia, Falls Church, Virginia, how he's trying to support their learning from a distance, and also the things he does, his philosophy to the details, the things you do alone at home, that make all the difference in the world to a high level multi-sport, multi-combat sport athlete like Ryan Hall. High level athletes like Ryan in combat sports and in other sports already were doing the type of solo drills, stuff behind closed doors when no one's looking at home or alone in the gym that we find ourselves doing now. They've been doing this stuff. High level athletes are high level in part to their talent, for sure, physical, mental, otherwise. But for the most part, they're also separated themselves a long time ago by their willingness to do really not glamorous things. Drills alone with a pillow, a heavy bag, a chair, a bag on the ground, shadow boxing, round after round after round, looking at themselves in the mirror while they do it, working technique on their own, hitting a bunch of arm bars from our back with no partner. They've done this type of stuff, film study, lots and lots of film study. They've already done this type of stuff. And that's why they improve so fast. They're not just going to class, going home, and then coming to the next class like everyone else. They're putting in work in between classes, right? So, although the psychological challenges of being in isolation or relative isolation are certainly nothing to sneeze at, if we can find ways to have some type of community like we do with the live video classes, different events that we're hoping to organize as well from a bit of a distance outdoors once it gets warmer, if if we can cope psychologically and get ourselves up and moving, we're lucky to have the type of direction that Ryan provides to his students from even remotely through video learning and emails and things of that nature, and that we try to do at Foundation Chicago with our recorded video content, podcasts like this with experts, outside experts, and with our live video classes. You can really still improve. So I say it all the time. You guys hear me preach this. I want to bring some of our friends that are much higher level than myself, that have much more experience than myself in many, many ways at a high level. I want you to hear it from them as well. So it's certainly self-serving. I want you guys involved. But I hope you all know I want you guys involved because I also care about your progress, and I know we all need extra support. So without further ado, we'll jump into the conversation here with Ryan Hall. Thanks, guys, for listening. Share it far and wide and enjoy. What are you now kind of switching gears to you as a professor and a leader in your gym and planning for content or instruction, even if it's remote for your members? What are your what are you already doing? What are you planning to do to reach students with any type of instruction? And what advice are you giving or would you give to just martial arts students who are trying to make the best out of their situation at home if they're not allowed at the gym?
All I can say is, we try to do the best to do right by our members to continue to provide a service worth paying for to support the community that we built in our academy. We try to put our content, our daily instructional content from our classes, make it available to all of our members. There's a great deal of information out in the jiu-jitsu community these days. Again, technical content,
Hmm.
competitive content, match footage. So obviously, there's opportunity for people to continue their training, from a mental perspective. But there's nothing like being on the mat, being able to get live work with people. And unfortunately, many of us find ourselves in a place right now where that's not possible. But I guess I would just say that all we're doing is just attempting to continue to do right by our members and offer everything that we can, both
Yeah.
during this time as well as on the back end, and hope that people stick with us. And we'll do our best there. We know it's a difficult time for everyone, but that's all I can really say about that.
That makes sense. I've been trying to convey, successfully so far, although it's only just been like a week or so, convey to my team members here at our small academy foundation that that the fun things, it's certainly the most impactful things, like getting together, rolling, grabbing another person and drilling. Those are definitely the most fun things, and definitely, like, the most important things. I've been trying to convey to them that at the highest levels, most elite athletes, you guys already do, these small things on your own outside of public view, like smart film study, rewinding over and over and over, watching, drilling things on your own, visualizing, making sure your diet's not complete garbage all the time, doing mobility drills. I remember when Rami and I were able to go out and visit you guys last year. I remember I think it was the last day we were there. The Ferrario Brothers had done their seminar, and you had trained, you had taught, you had done their seminar. It was a full day of like 5 or 6 hours of training. Everyone else had left to go, wait in line at the restaurant. And I was looking at the clock, Ryan. You were on a bag working one kick for 45 minutes at the end of that, right? Like, and then at a certain point, you think you said it was something Raymond Daniels was teaching you, and you were trying to understand how to generate power, and then eventually the bag went, kind of went down, and you realized what you would were been missing and what you finally unlocked. So I guess that was something. Again, I'm just trying to illustrate, it was something that no one really was there. If I wasn't there, like, visiting, no one would have seen that. But as a high level fighter, you're already doing that type of extra work. So I've been trying to convey to them, like, hey, if you put more effort into little things that maybe you didn't put effort into before, you can still come out of it with some type of improvement as a martial artist. Do you feel that's possible, or at least worthwhile in terms of trying?
Absolutely. I think that's at least what I'm personally trying to do. Obviously I own my gym, so I can pop over there at the moment and,
Yeah.
just try to take this opportunity when, in all likelihood, there is no competitive outlet, in the short term, and go, hey, what can we focus on? Because there's always something significant to work on, and if you can chip away, when in doubt, just pick one thing and try to chip away and do it enough times that you can start to see the difference. If you've never eaten Italian food before, it's maybe difficult the difference between one dish or another,
Hmm.
even though they're all, for the most part, like most food, composed of 5 or 6 of the same ingredients. But there's so many different ways something can be put together, and the more time you spend eating Italian food, the more you can tell the difference between a pizza and a calzone and stuff like that. And if you just sat there chipping away at your back kick or your left hand or your right hand or whatever you name it, it will be very, very difficult to not improve. I think plateauing is something that happens when we're kind of sitting there frustrated but spinning our wheels. But if you just sit there and kind of feel and try to understand what you're doing, you'll never be sorry that you did.
To end, I was wondering if there was either on the or either or both, I guess. If there's one thing you'd recommend or are recommending, like whether it's an idea, a drill, or anything, just a concept or a value that you would recommend for someone if they're stuck at home, or on the opposite side, if there's one pitfall that you want to warn, all martial arts students against, if they're at home and not able to train as they usually are able to train.
Thing. I guess what I would say is if I could, I would try to build capacity. I would try to build the ability to do something. It's almost like having money in the bank. You can use it for charity. You can use it for, fixing something in your house. You can use it for buying a sandwich. But it gives you the opportunity to go out and distribute it as you see fit. If you don't have any money in the bank, it's difficult to accomplish that. So right now we don't have a great deal of time on our hands, and many of us have a great deal of time on our hands, and oftentimes more than we had prior. Right now I'm spending my time reading books that I might not have otherwise read, and working on tools that I might not have otherwise worked on. So I'll pick something that maybe if I was in fight camp I wouldn't have the time to fiddle with, but nowadays I really don't feel the pressure of an oncoming situation. So we go, hey, maybe I can pick that esoteric technique and kind of see how it works out. Or maybe I can pick some fundamental piece of my game that hasn't been working well or has always been missing and spend all my time on it. I would say this would be a fantastic time to focus on a weakness. There's no pressure to do anything else, and you can see if you can, in 30 days or 60 days or however long this all lasts, make a weakness into a strength.
I love it. That's excellent. And Ryan, you mentioned all the great things you do for your 50/50 Academy members there, but you also have phenomenal instruction, a video instruction available for everyone now, some new stuff out there. Can you tell people where they can visit that and where they can sign up and purchase it?
Sure. Thanks very much. I think, I guess we have a new site for some instructional and informational content that we're putting on. It's called RyanHallOnline.com. And we were able to release, courses on a 50/50 use for fighting and grappling. And what I'm trying to do is take the experience that I've gotten from moving to the MMA world for the Jiu-Jitsu one and kind of operating at a high level in both and say, hey, here's what I've learned. Here's what I think is being done right in Jiu-Jitsu. Here's what I think is being done right in MMA. And here's what I think we could adjust going forward. And here are the mistakes that I've made that I hope that I can save you guys some trouble with. And we have a new course coming out. It's going to be called the Modern Half Guard. That's going to be an interesting thing. It's a great deal more than just the half guard, but that'll be the next thing. And we've been fortunate to get a good response from the 50/50 one, and we have a great sale going on right now that I'm trying to do my best to be supportive to the jiu-jitsu world at the time, where obviously many of us are short on training and short on information. But if anyone is interested in checking it out, I hope they'll enjoy it. I've done my best with it. And again, that's at RyanHallOnline.com. And I guess if you check it out, thanks very much for giving us a try.
So that was Ryan Hall. Super, super thankful for his time. If you haven't checked out our earlier episodes, we had Kenny Florian on for a really great conversation along similar subjects. We've had Joe Lozon on as well. Check those out on our YouTube channel, Build Your Foundation MMA. I believe that if you search that, you will find us on YouTube. You might already be listening to us there. So if you are, just look in our other videos and you'll see a lot of technique, and you'll also find those podcasts. You can find it up on our Foundation Chicago Facebook page as well. We put them up there. We don't have them on iTunes or anything like that. This is, for the most part, been for our members and our friends here in the area, although this is completely free for everyone, so certainly feel free to share them with anyone anywhere you know that you feel might benefit. But again, if you haven't heard the other episodes, feel free to check those out. We really like them. We have more conversations coming as well. We've already recorded other great conversations with outside experts, and we're going to continue to do interviews with new ones that we haven't yet spoken to about this. So keep doing it all you can. If you're a Foundation Chicago member, keep signing up for our live video classes every day. Even if you're not a member, if you're in need of training and you don't have the financial resources to take advantage of different things like Ryan Hall's great DVD learning, if you need some type of instruction at this time to keep you going, hit me up directly at foundationchicago@gmail.com, or if you know me and you can hit me up through social media, hit me up directly. I'll hook you up. You can train with us at Foundation Chicago. We're not greedy. The more the merrier. We want to support one another at this time. This is not a time for us to be alone and to be adversarial with other people acting in good faith and need. We need to support one another. You can jump in. Certainly, you can check out all our recorded video instruction and follow along. We have core workouts. We have shadow boxing workouts. We have particular techniques we're breaking down. Jump in with that. All right. If you've got kids or you've got family with young people who want to jump in our daily kids classes as well over Zoom, hit me up. I can probably hook you up there as well. Okay, guys. So really proud of everyone for doing what they can in these challenging times. Thanks for listening. I hope to see you all soon.